All right, good morning, guys. Welcome to our May the 9th Road and Shop meeting. Mr. Bill, could we have the roll call, please?
Mr. Taylor.
Here.
Mr. Garcia.
Here.
Mr. Byrd. Here. Mr. Spoboda.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, all members of the committee are present.
Mr. Bill, would you lead us in a prayer and Mr. Garcia in a pledge, please?
Most kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we're most thankful for this day that has given us. We're thankful for the opportunity to meet together to discuss the issues facing this parish. We ask that kindness be with us and guide us as we discuss these matters, that we may do things pleasing in thy sight. We ask special blessing on all of our government, the federal, state, and local leaders, that they may be guided by your teachings and do your will in all things. We ask this most humbly in the name of Jesus Christ, the Son of the Lord. Amen.
Amen.
We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Put a beeper on that thing.
Yeah. I didn't know it was in reverse.
What was you trying to do, back out from under you?
Yeah. Took off trying to run over Barry.
All right, do we need to amend the agenda? Any amendments? Amendments? Have a motion that we adopt the agenda.
I'll make that
Motion by Byrd,
I'll second.
second by Bruce. All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion carried. All right, public comments on any item on the agenda. All right. Number 8 is discussed to create a parish-wide Class A CDL driver position at 18 an hour.
We've talked about this a few times, and we've never taken action on it. I don't know if they've been put up for consideration, but we bought a few months ago. We bought a new haul truck, a used haul. We bought a truck, and we've done a little work to it and got it. It's been on the road a good bit. And what we've done is we have a dump truck driver, a current parish-wide dump truck driver, who is a Class A driver, and he's expressed an interest in that truck. Well, he's been in that truck, he's run that truck, and so he's two issues we have. One is he's being paid as a Class B driver, which is $2 less than a Class A driver. So he's doing a Class A job driving that truck. And he wants to continue in that truck, but we now have a parish-wide dump truck idle that we need to fill. So either we need a Class A driver position for that truck. So it's something we'd like to discuss.
He's driving it now with the lower pay.
Yes,
right. And he has
but it is
He
just
has a Class A license.
he does, and it just happens to be that we had someone that's a drunk. He's been employed with us for a good while. It just happens to be we have someone from within that wanted to move up and accept another position. But what we have talked about all along is we'll at some point get to the point where we needed to fill that. We need a position for the driver of that truck.
So either way, we need a
driver.
We need a driver.
We need a position.
We
We need a position.
So I mean, if he's willing,
And you
I don't
got
see
one out, ain't you? One Class A out.
And we've had one of our Class A drivers, which we have two. And with those two trucks, we stock yards, we move equipment. The way it is now is one truck pretty well keeps a trailer behind it, moving equipment every day. And a rare exception, can he drop that trailer and hook onto something else? And when he can, he does. But he's pretty well moving equipment. So we have one truck that stocks yards. And now with this one, we're back to two. But Dennis has been out for 4 or 5 weeks now. he had an off work incident and cut his hand pretty good. He really bad. He messed up, and so he'll be off work for a good bit more.
Let's say give the guy his Class A pay, and Dennis will be back sooner or later. But he drives what?
That's a whole separate issue. That's just for y'all's information. That has nothing to do
Still,
with
you're
this.
gonna need to hire one now.
We still need a
At
position.
16 for the dump truck driver.
Yeah.
For the Class B driver.
So what ideally, what I think what we need to do is approve, if you also choose, approve create a new Class A driver position, and that's it. And once that's approved, this fellow will be moved into that, and then his position becomes open for hire for a dump truck driver to fill the dump truck.
It's kind
So on, how many dump truck positions do we have now? Just the, the
Four.
parish, 4. You got 4. Those are positions that been there since we've been here. All right, and so you're wanting to create a Class A 5th, and that'd give us 3 day cabs and 4 dump trucks.
Let's back up. We have 4 dump truck. We have 4 Class B positions, 4 dump trucks.
Right,
We have 2 Class A positions, parish-wide.
right.
So we're looking for a third
A third.
Class A.
So so that's what I'm saying. If you created that third, you would have 3, I'm gonna call day cab trucks.
Yes,
And then you'll have 4 dump trucks.
yes,
So, but you're not creating but one position.
yes.
It all sounds good, but as our financial knowledge here can tell you that as far as our payroll employment, we strapped. I would like to, me personally, I would like to refer it to the finance committee and give Bill a few days to see, a few times to see if there's a possibility.
We're over $4 million in salaries and fringes now a year. And that's before we do other costs that come out of the sales tax fund, like fuel, repairs and maintenance on parish-wide vehicles and equipment.
And a position like this would probably tack on what, 60,000 more annually, probably, once the benefits and everything,
Probably closer to
70 annually.
can this guy, I mean, I think if he's pulling a trailer truck, he already gets the wages.
Yeah.
And then he can work, I mean, all those guys can work between the trailers and the tandems. So you really, if you've done it this way, you only increasing your pay $2 an hour or whatever it is to go to a trailer, and not create another position, have a spare truck.
Yeah.
Would that work?
Just so
better?
everybody knows, we're stepping down.
Right.
From our parish-wide dump trucks. You know, now we're gonna have 3 trucks running.
Okay, well, can I make a comment?
We didn't have the 2 over-the-road tractors, and then we bought another one.
You don't know if I can. As a member of the public. I know I don't have a vote, I just wanted to make a comment. I don't know if it,
I'm fine with it myself. Can you make a
He
comment?
can't vote.
I know
just
I
can't vote.
I know
He
that.
could be
I've never-
part of it.
I've never voted, but I was just gonna say our rock yard is almost empty. So we're either gonna do this to where we can use parish wide, or we're gonna have to use that trucking list that Bobby sent us, and we're gonna have to hire it out to get some rocks on the yards.
Well, when we started this, our whole purpose of the day cab trucks was to keep the yard stocked when it's asphalt season. And, in which this other guy, he's been out, so I imagine it put a kink in it. I like the idea of having the three day cab drivers. It gives them other things they can, besides just driving one truck. They can haul, they can move equipment, they can stock yards. But
And
then
they can drive a tandem if needed.
and then they can step down and drive a tandem if they have to. But we would have to do away with one of those positions. We would have to do away with them. Or I say not really do away with it. You wouldn't feel it. The smaller dump trucks. In other words, he's making 18 now.
Mhm.
Give him to $20.
No,
No,
he's making
16.
16, okay.
Put
Put him
him
to 18. I'm sorry. Put him to 18, and you create this position as a Class A driver, but then you have to leave that other position vacant because you don't have the funds to.
And then when Dennis comes back, what truck, who's in the truck that he drives?
Today it's in the shop, but we trying to get some issues while he's gone, some issues worked out. We went and picked it up and got it back, and there's still some, we drove for a few days, coach, research.
Because this A driver be
Benefit comes where you gotta
be
get
more
in.
benefit for us than a B driver. And then, we'll just leave it open. And then maybe we'll see in the next coming months or next year, we might be able to work to where we can fill that vacancy.
Put it before the
We and I even thought about maybe what if we just get us a part-timer, that don't, is that what we call it, part-time?
I just seen on the tax commission where our
Temporary.
revenue is over $600,000 less, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
last week,
and see, that's catching up with us, because if you go month after month after month, and it's less and less and less and less, well, it ain't there. So,
We'll take anything that there is, but I'll say this of what you tell me if you feel different. You're in the business. I don't know where we're gonna find a part-time CDL driver. I haven't had any come walk through our door. We've got a guy right now that's looking for a full-time job. And whatever y'all choose to do, I just like resolution on it one way or another so we can move on. Either Lee can get us Class A pay, or we can fill a position, whichever way.
I hired 2 drivers last week and one never showed up.
Yep.
He wanted to work bad.
Yeah, he went to work for Gary Bell. And I said, well, that's a better man than me. But drivers are hard to find, but I do say we ought to step this guy up.
other position,
And then
give him $2
and then
more
there we got a
dollars.
driver down.
Yeah, we can
So what
handle
we're gonna do if we
But we
hired
just
one
leave that.
today and Dennis comes back?
Other vacant.
This has nothing to do with Dennis.
And
Yeah,
then
but
we'll
where's he
see
gonna
next
go?
year.
Dennis has got his truck.
And then we
So
will.
his
got
is
3
set
trucks.
create
Dennis' truck,
come next year,
Dennis's
we'll just
truck is
fill.
waiting on him.
Just leave the position.
Right now,
Right.
Dennis is not part of the conversation. Dennis is good.
We can handle that.
We've got 3 trucks and 2 drivers.
Will that work? I mean, that'll work for me.
Well, I was talking with Bill, financially, we could create this position for the, day cab guy, but we're gonna leave this other position open, vacant, until we'll see next year. If our funds get better, then we'll look at hiring one, but as of right now, and I don't want to speak, I'm just speaking here, I would still refer it to the finance committee and let them review it, just in case, but, chances are the funds ain't gonna be there, so. Sounds good?
Sounds good to me.
So let me get here. We're gonna make the recommendation to create Class A and leave right. Any other ideas, discussions?
We're gonna increase that guy's pay to $18.
18, right, increases pay.
I think that's
That's
fair.
automatically gonna come when you create that position. You automatically get that, yeah. So I guess the motion would be is to create a Class A position and leave the Class B vacant till next year. Or well, let's just say next year, it may be sooner. And the guy will be,
Refer to the finance.
and we still gonna refer to the finance. But as of right now, that would be our motion.
But he's gonna get his raise too.
He's gonna get his raise,
Yeah,
yes.
So I'll make that motion. If we need to.
All right.
I'll second that
I got a
motion.
motion by Eric, second by Bruce. All in favor? All opposed, all right. All right, moving on to item 9 is to discuss a parish-wide crew.
I brought that up, considering reduction in finances right now, we can do away with that. No sense in discussing it right now, it's a waste of the time.
Table it till further notice. All right. Got a motion by Bruce to table this item.
Right.
Got a second by Eric. All in favor of tabling this? All opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, now on item 10 is to discuss and review road repair and release agreement between Sabine Parish Police Jury and Swin for Little Egypt Road. Mr. Hughes, you got some detail on that or?
Yeah, we've been working on this for a while. This is our sell-up agreement. And Bill's looked at it, Don's looked at it, everybody's good with it. I think we just put it before the jury just to allow you to sign it so we can get paid. We'll get $500,000 from it. You good with it, Barry?
Yeah, $500,000, yeah.
I saw a bird in the middle of Little Egypt dance a jig.
Any other discussion on this? So you said Don has reviewed this also? Okay. I have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Bird, second by Eric.
I don't need to do anything.
All in favor?
No,
All opposed? All right, we'll make that recommendation to settle that.
Tell Daniel we won't check tomorrow, hand delivery.
Next Thursday.
Y'all give him a deadline on that check to be here?
I thought Bobby said him how when we do that tomorrow, hand delivery.
I think Daniel is as ready to give it to us as we are to get it.
Yeah.
Now, we've been at this a while.
All right,
I tell him we'll meet him with Billy B's.
We're gonna buy him a steak this time, huh?
and
Tell him we'll meet him with Billy B's.
on item 11 is to discuss approving a handicap driveway request at 46 Sandstone Circle in Zawala. Mr. Hughes, you review this?
Yeah, and I've given y'all everything.
They have copies, yes, sir.
Okay. Any other discussion on this item?
And this is just a little bit of rock.
And I'll make that
I'll
motion.
second it. Hot dog name.
Motion by Eric, second by Bird. All in favor? All opposed?
You worked when he was 85, so he didn't pay enough taxes.
Yeah, he is. He earned it.
He's worked all his life.
Hey, he'd still be working if he could.
Moving on to item number 12 is discuss Rupert Sepulvedo's request for a road extension.
that's the same one we discussed
Yes.
several times.
And this is not a acceptance, it's just an extension.
Well,
I mean, that's,
I reword it because we've been talking about it as Teeter Road, and it's not really Teeter Road. It's just it's a shoot off of Teeter Road.
Right.
So I don't know that really matters. I just want to be clear that this is.
We discussed this road, well, y'all was here when the guy come. And I spoke with Mr. Bill, and we set a criteria that we've set. The parish has said, I don't remember back in whenever we set this criteria.
15.
And was it 15? And so I got a lot of knowledge from Mr. Bill on this. Once you set that criteria, you know, you got to go by the criteria. You know, I looked at ways to try to tweak this thing to where, you know, it give us a little more room to be able to help in some of these cases, because all your cases are not the same.
Right.
So Mr. Bill gave us the criteria. That's what we have to go by. Unless there's somewhere, y'all should have a copy of the criteria. Does everyone have a copy of it?
Everybody does, and so
And we'll just go down through this, and as we go, we'll discuss it, get some ideas. I mean, you know, that's part of this
y'all got a
committee.
copy of this too?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And
Can I kind of explain what you're looking at there? Because that draft that you have is something that I put together. I think, K-Ball, you and I started talking about this
yeah,
2 years ago. But here's, I don't think I included this copy with y'all, but this is what I have found to be our original policy and procedures for acceptance of roads in the parish system. And it says, it is a policy of the Sabine Parish Police Jury to have a process for the acceptance of roads into the parish system. The purpose of this policy is to ensure the Sabine Parish Police Jury has identified, organized, and developed a process for accepting roads in the parish system. Our procedures are this: A, no road shall be accepted into the parish road system until it meets the requirements of the Parish Planning Commission. References Resolution 621 of 7/8 of 83. Roads being considered for acceptance into the parish road system must be inspected and approved by the Parish Planning Commission and the parish engineer. Inadequate roads shall not be accepted in the parish system until brought up to the minimum specifications required by the parish, which are as follows. Number one, the road right-of-way must be a minimum of 50 feet. Number two, the road surface condition must be good. Number three, the condition of the road's drainage must be good. Number four, the transfer of ownership of the road to the Sabine Parish Police Jury must be legally filed with the Sabine Parish Clerk of Court. So what we have, it says it must be good. What does good mean? And that's kind of what we began talking about. And we put together this draft that you see. And we've never adopted this, the draft that you see. We've never adopted that. What we did do, we have a public road adoption form, and that's what
this form is. Yeah,
what Kenneth Ebarb called a rubric.
yeah, yeah.
I just like that word. It reminds me of him. But anyway, this is what we kind of go by in the answer, and this is what the jury has approved. So this is what we go by to determine whether a road. But the draft that you're looking at is something that I think, if you all agree to what's on there, but that we should adopt to replace
The old.
this, which I don't know when that was typed up, but it's been a while.
Probably.
Yeah.
By the looks of it.
So in other words,
When the legislative officers was here, that's
Yeah.
when it got typed up.
Sometimes my jokes are only for me, I guess. They don't.
But to go back to Mr. Rupert's road, it meets most of the criteria.
Okay, so
Because what I came to find out, and everybody's listening, you know, I think he wants to build down there. But you know, when you go to finance something, if you ain't got that right of way, you know, to it, he can't, you know, you can't build. That's where the issue's coming up.
So this is my,
He don't want much of anything done. He just wants it to be where, he's got, showing parish right away, where then, the bank or whatever will go through with the loan. I mean, that's where the hold up is.
so this is the inspection that I did on that road. Does the road meet the road acceptance criteria? I answered no. Does the road connect two other roads already included in the parish-wide road system? No. If the answer to the question one is yes, which the answer was no, goes on, are there multiple residences and or businesses located along the road? No. Are there multiple landowners? Yes. Can the general public use the road without first obtaining the permission of the adjoining landowners? Now, I answered yes, but then, my thought to that is this: why would they? Because it's a dead end path to two pieces of property. So, is there a parish road is whatever y'all say it is. But I've said again that often I have conversations with residents about everybody wants their road to become a parish road. They don't want to maintain it. They want us to. And when we do, everybody wants to tell you they're a taxpayer and that they pay taxes, and what do they get for their taxes, and that they ought to get a road. but my way of looking at it, and I'm not saying it's right, but the way I see it is, what about all the other taxpayers? Should all the other taxpayers pay for that road? It's not going to be really a public use road. So it would be nice if I think for us and for Mr. Spodo, if we had a resolution to this, so we don't keep talking about it
Kicking it down the road.
And I don't know.
And that was my biggest deal. It ain't gonna, he ain't asking for anything. He's asking for the acceptance of getting to the parish so he can, get access to build. But another thing, it's not like he's asking for 20 loads of rock.
Well, but like I said earlier, so he came in here or at one point and said, hey, I'd like for the road just to be graded a couple times a year.
Right.
Well, then we talked about, he needs to put some rock on it. So after there's some rock on that road, and you can drive out there now, and there's some rock down there on the ground.
And I think a couple covers or something. He's done a little. He's done enough where you could just run down it with a grader.
But if we just send a grader down there, and there's an inch of rock on that road, you can't grade an inch of rock on a road. There's, it's going, you can't do that. So the next thing would be y'all bring some rock out here. It'd just be natural. And if we're going to try to grade it, we'd have to. So at what point? I'm just saying it's hard.
It ain't being like putting a new, like I know building a new, to put it in the parish system and, go by our criteria, that's doing dirt work and everything. The road's already there. You probably could go right now with a grader and put 2 loads of rock on it and fix it.
But my thing is that the inspections that we do are to inspect roads that are going to become a parish road. It's not a parish subdivision road versus a parish private road or a parish road that goes to 2 lots. You know what I mean? It's a parish road, and a parish road is a parish road. But unless y'all say that it's different, we just need to know the criteria.
So if Mr. Sepulveda goes out and, Eric, I'm just going to use what Eric said. He bought 2 loads of rock and his drainage is good. And you went out and inspected it. Well, couldn't he then get on the waiting list if it meets this criteria? Or you saying it ain't going to meet the criteria even after, or just say he puts 4 loads of rock on? I don't know. I'm just saying he brings it up to a good road.
Well, back on December 28th, the letter that I sent, or the email that I sent to Mr. Sepulveda says, I appreciate your time yesterday and would like to offer the following based on our discussion. The parish maintained portion of Teeter Road that's not really Teeter Road, but the parish maintained portion of Teeter Road ends roughly at the curve where your access road begins. The access road in question is not part of the parish maintained road, therefore cannot be maintained or worked by the parish. There is an avenue for a private road to be accepted by the parish. This would include the road being brought to a minimum standard, which would basically include grading the road, adding minimum 4 inches rock, providing drainage. Once the request for acceptance has been made, we would do an initial inspection, and assuming the road met standards, it would be presented to the jury for initial acceptance. This would begin a 2-year clock where you would maintain the road for that period. At the end of that 2-year maintenance period, we'd perform a reinspection. Assuming the road conditions still meet standards, it would be presented to the jury for final acceptance into the parish maintained system as parish maintained road. If this is something you're interested in, we would be happy to work with you and provide any further information needed. And that's basically about what I say to everybody. That's kind of just the same song and dance to everybody.
So it would be 2 years before it would be accepted, right?
Unless y'all chose different.
Unless we chose, in a couple, over the years, I've seen a handful of roads that were brought in before the 2 years was up. I mean, you know, I guess the 2 years is, to me, my thinking, the 2 years is for like a lot of developments where there's going to be a lot of traffic building, trucks going in and out. In 2 years, you can find your soft spots. In this situation, like I said, if he's planning on building there, he's going to have trucks going in and out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how far we can go back, you know, before my time. And I think that road was a parish. It come and met Teeter Road as Hess Road. But, you know, naturally, when the lake came in, they cut a portion of it out. So I don't know where, you know, how that would stand.
Right.
I mean, 'cause that was Hess Road, you know, coming in across the lake. Comes in, but when the lake came in and, you know, the backwater cut it off, then them little 1 or 2 tenths that meets Teeter Road, you know, Hess Road made the loop and teed into Teeter Road right there. So now, since you can't go out on Hess Road because of the lake, I guess that's the reason he's looking to just call it Teeter and extend it to where the lake goes.
But I brought that up to say that that was our communication in December 28th. And here we are in May, and Mr. Spodo after this came back to the jury to say, you know, I'd like you to accept my road. You know, and
So you said he has done some work to it?
I don't think nothing recent.
I don't think anything's been done to it since I looked at it.
Oh, okay.
We're
Well, I mean, you know, I hate it, but that's the criteria. That's the criteria that the police jury adopted. And we got a lot of our information from the Attorney General's office on this. So, I mean, you know, if he's willing to, you know, I don't even know, how far is this?
1,050 feet is what I measured. 1,100 feet.
Yeah, I'd be lying. I tell you, it ain't much, but I mean,
But if Mr. Sepulveda is willing to, you know, get the road up to where it meets the criteria, I mean, you know, Bobby would do an inspection. It's in your road district. You'll be the one accepting the road, so the maintenance of it will, from here on, would come out of your, you know, your district budget. So, you know.
and it didn't, you know, at first, when it first came up, it didn't, but now it just keeps on, you know, he won't let it go on. And it kind of touched me when a, you know, guy works all his life and wants to come back to the old home place.
Right.
And, you know, now he can't build on it because of, you know, legal reasons. And I see that point.
Yeah.
Who's the road belong to now?
I mean,
It belong to him?
no.
I don't know that there's a right of way, but it goes through
There
the
was
way
a
this
parish
shows.
right away years ago before the lake came. But I don't know how
Yeah,
that,
But if he owns all that land and
well, there's
he
multiple landowners on both sides.
and he owned that road, see, the bank should be his driveway.
Yeah,
They
but
shouldn't
no,
give
it's
him
not,
that.
because see, it's on other, I think the road's gonna be on Evans.
Mm.
And then he, you know, 2 or 3 more landowners all around.
I think it goes through, the way that it looks to me is that it goes through Evans' property and it goes through some leaseback property to get
Then
to his. Along with this, are we interested in looking at that draft criteria? to,
Well, let's review the draft and go down it item by item and we got any discussion on it. So what?
And I want to say this, this is what we talked about when we have, this applies to any parish road. And again, what this says, the road right of way must be a minimum 50 feet. Road surface condition must be good. Road condition of the road's drainage must be good. I would think that we might want something a little bit more substantial or more clear than that.
Now, on the 50 feet, that's going to be on a new development.
Now, we have a subdivision, I call it a subdivision planning policy, but that's this right here. And it tells right of way for subdivisions.
Okay.
So that's why down on this draft, number 5, the right of way must be a minimum width of 50 feet on new development.
Okay.
But if we consider this, then that's gonna still come back to bite us in some places. If we gotta follow this.
On new development.
On new
New
development.
development.
Just new development.
Yeah. On the existing road, just, you don't know.
10 out of-
I measured one the other day, is 18. But I mean, it is what it is, you know, material should not be accepted until brought up to minimum specification required by parish as follows. Material used on rock roads must be limestone-based material and must be compacted to 4-inch. Asphalt road must be based scrap and item as well covered. Surface road must be graded with gravel. Transfer ownership roads. It's very simple.
But we have a little clarity in there and we have some requirements. So we talked about specifying the type of material we like on our roads, because we have a lot of development coming here and they'll build a subdivision and they're all over the place and they're black rock roads. And we all know what happens to that in a minute, you know, and all they've got to do is leave that for a 2-year period. And in 2 years,
We got to rock it.
they're probably sold out of lots, and then they might put another handful of loads on there to pass our inspection. But without us having any requirement for a type of material, that's all we're getting. You know, it's all over the place.
Cause that's cheap
Yeah.
out there. What
Yeah.
they gonna do?
And long term, it provides no benefit to us when we accept.
And I done run into that too. Then they leave the property owners
Yeah,
hanging.
the bag.
But yeah, after
we
they
used that
leave.
example earlier, Lacey Landing.
Yeah, that's what
And
educated me.
people that are buying that property, they don't know that.
They
So-
excited to get a new place. They ain't worried.
So comparing this policy here to the policy we had, the previous policy, is there really any difference in it?
Well, it is because we're
Specifying the kind of rock.
defining
Besides the rock,
Well,
besides the rock.
we're the rock, and we're requiring a compacted minimum depth. So
How
we're
about-
requiring a base. We're requiring
How about culvert size?
culvert size is on here. It's on, but the culvert size, our culvert size right now is 15 inches.
That's the minimum.
Mhm.
I got you.
So it's not other than.
Once they start those developments, the planning commission along with yourself go and inspect and tell these subdivisions the size of culverts they need. But you're not gonna put a 15 where you need a 24 or a
In my
36.
time here, I have never been part of any, unless a developer has reached out to me privately, I have never been, and that's happened, but I've never been part of any planning commission conversation.
So
I've
you
never-
don't work with the planning commission on this now? Does he run anything by you?
The only time I have ever, from day one to today, been involved with Pete is when I reach out to Pete on a final inspection. And Pete and I go out and look at something. The planning commission, I don't even know, other than Pete, I don't know who, I've heard names, but we have not talked about that. And I think there's some conversation at this
He's the
table.
one needs to step.
Well, I think there's some conversation that has or is going to happen at this table about the planning commission itself. But,
Yeah. Okay.
the planning commission is a
See, I thought-
mysterious being to me.
I thought you worked with him on that, but okay.
Well,
Back on this.
Yeah.
So was there anything else beside the culvert size, the rock type that we need to,
I think
we good with this draft?
so.
Okay.
I don't think this is harsh at all. I think this protects us a lot more than we have ever been. I don't think it's harsh at all.
Okay. Bill, did you looked at that?
That's good.
Okay. Any other discussion on this item? So we are going to, let me find my scratch pad here.
Ellie won't give you a notebook.
I'm sorry.
Times is hard,
I'm
man.
sorry.
Times got a
Times
safe
are
paper
hard.
around here.
I'll specifically look at.
I
I
know
am struggling with one eye this morning, y'all. I apologize.
So we would
Here.
rescind,
30 years.
we would rescind the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do
Yeah,
anything?
we can rescind.
Because we didn't amend the agenda to do that.
This is gonna be for the meeting, the 15th.
Yeah.
We're gonna recommend
Okay.
rescinding the existing,
Gotta make that
policy and
motion.
procedure. And then, recommend adopting the draft, policy and procedure for adoption of roads.
And we'll just do that under the item under discuss to the road.
No, we're doing it right here under discuss Sepulveda. That's what it is. We're just gonna make a recommendation here to adopt that.
Okay.
And then we'll put it on the
Agenda
agenda.
for the 15th.
Okay.
Okay.
15th.
So I need a
I'll make that.
motion. Any other discussion on this?
No, and I'll second it.
We got a motion by Eric and a second by Bruce. All in favor? All opposed? And this is to make the recommendation to rescind the old one and adopt the new.
Can, just,
Okay, now back, go ahead.
no, that's where you're going. I was
Go
gonna say,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, just to be clear, could we decide where we are with Mr. Sepulveda?
As, from what I'm understanding out of this meeting and the discussion that we have, if Mr. Sepulveda would come out and put, Bobby, you would have to work with him to come out and say, okay, you need 3 or 4 loads of rock here. You need put a culvert in here and then do the inspection and then we'll start his clock.
Okay. And on that clock, I understand the conversation. I understand that why it would be a waiver on a 2-year period. But if he's gonna be building down there, then
Right.
would it be wise for us, if that were to happen, to wait till the building is
Yes.
finished before we accept a road?
But if he decides, well, he's gonna buy him a modular home and move it in down there in 6 months, well, then you could bring it in sooner than that because he's already
I
established.
get it. But I'm just saying with all the
Yes,
construction.
yes,
traffic,
yes.
Okay.
And then, I noticed he had a son here and the son may be planning on coming down here with him. So to me, communication is the best tool it is, kind of see what their ideal is. As you said, we don't want to go in and fix a road if they want to start a lot of concrete and building and doing this. We need to wait on the 2 years,
What do you think is the best? Who should reach out to Mr. Sepulveda? Do y'all want me to do that?
I
or-
would like for you
Okay, I
two
will.
to reach and tell him that we had a meeting.
I want to make sure that we can
And
take
this
care
is
of it.
where we at, we got a criteria
Okay.
and explain everything to them. We got to go by it. And we looked at the criteria and we don't see anywhere where we could tweak it or make it any, anyway.
Got it.
All right, moving on to item 13, which is discuss Shelby Drive. Mr., in your packs, in your mail there, you should have this email. I spoke with Mr. Crow on the phone one evening, and we've talked about this road a few months ago. Bobby went out and met with Mr. Isernak. This is my first time I'm speaking. I spoke to Mr. Crow on this, and this is his resident. Mr. Isernak is his father-in-law. But anyway, in the email, you'll see, what we discussed. From what I'm understanding is that he was in the process of going through the 2-year waiting period when this happened. From the email, is that the way you read it, Bobby?
Yeah.
Or am I
this-
wrong?
This first time I read it, it's, yeah. The road, okay.
It's just like,
I can tell you what I know about my conversation with, Mr. Crow.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt.
No,
you.
go ahead.
So, what do you think, 6 months ago, probably 6 months ago, you and I rode out there that, to look at this. And that was my first time of being involved in it. And as Eric and I were creeping around on his driveway, he came out behind us, hey, what are y'all doing? So we stopped then and we all got out and let the tailgate down on the truck, and we're looking at papers of what we had, and not really any of us had our thoughts together at the time. We were just talking about what he wanted. And he was saying that, I guess kind of what this says is that, somebody told him at one time that if he built the road, if he built it, that, we would accept it. And well, who told you? Well, somebody, he didn't.
That
He
was the
didn't.
old Gerard, and I
He-
guess that was about the time your election year.
And that sounds
one
about right.
Gerard went out, we came in, and then it never got to, I think, Mr. Bill, the same one you and I talked about, Mr. Bill. You said you went back, didn't find anything in paperwork, which a lot of that happened. It never did get
Right.
It was
Yeah.
just
And
talk
we
here
kind of
and
explained to him then that I don't know what somebody said, but here's where we are now. Can't go by hearsay or what was said. He said, well, I kind of dropped it and I didn't really pursue it, so here we are today. And so we kind of gave him a tailgate version of kind of the normal song and dance, what we just talked about, kind of where we are. And so then, and again, that's just on the side of the road with not a lot of information. We'll then come back and start looking at it and realize what really has gone on. And so I went out and spoke with, I reached out and talked to him on the phone, Mr. Jerry. I'm sorry, I can't remember his wife's name. Is it Wanda? Cindy. Well, I was way off. So I went out and sat with them in their kitchen, and we talked for about an hour about, I took copies of everything with me. I left copies with them, explained to them where we are, and we can go through that in a minute. But they understood that this is not something that meets our criteria, and we talked about that for about 20 minutes, and they understood. And then the rest of the time, we just sat there talking about just life. They were super nice people. And I said, look, if there's anything about this, y'all, get to thinking about, you don't understand, then please call me. I'll come back out. No, we're good. I said, well, if you talk with your family, and so that was that. And then I have never heard anything until, okay, well, you told me the other day that Josh reached out to you. So I brought copies of everything. I don't have copies for everybody, but we can look at this if anybody wants to know kind of what it is. There was a survey that was filed at the courthouse, and the land was surveyed because this is Jerry's family's land, right? When it's his mom and daddy's land. So when they died and it was split, there was a survey done to lay out a proposed road that would at some point be developed to allow access to all tracts of land, so that those tracts of land would have public road access. Well, the problem is the road, driveway, whatever you want to call it, that was built is not that road. It was built totally different. So what's laid out is a driveway that starts at the end of our parish road, and it goes through one tract of land, and that's Josh's land. And it's not on multiple tracts. It's not built as the way it was laid out in the survey. is that it would go on property lines, right? So it would hit all adjacent properties. But that's not how he built it. He built it in a different way. So it doesn't meet our criteria as, it's a private drive. It goes on one piece of land and it goes right up to, and here are the copies, it goes right up to, you don't pass that around if you want to. I think we looked at it before, but it goes right up to, I didn't get out and measure it, but I would bet 4 or 5 feet from his front door. So they can just pull right around that turnaround and carry their groceries right to the front door.
We can't just adopt everybody's driveway.
So that's where we are. So again, I have a survey that was performed and filed in the courthouse, and then a copy of kind of how the road is laid out, along with property lines. And so, and as it was laid out in the survey, it says a 50-foot.
Go ahead.
A 50-foot private access easement. So here's Jerry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me get my glasses right.
Right here to Jerry.
Okay, so here's Josh.
Okay.
Here's Josh coming down right here. And then, so this and this is Josh, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. Here's that little crook right there on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Josh up to here. So our road is ends right there. So this road is supposed to come down about to that line and then shoot up to this line and then go up to this corner, right? So it allows access to Doris's property, and so it comes down and it shoots right up. But see what he did was he built it coming up. I don't have a pen, but coming up this way. Well, I just coming up this way and coming up here to his house and coming around. So it comes it's just his driveway, it comes up here. And he has here, I think this is like a basketball court, and this is a little building. See, that little building is on that corner, so that road couldn't even go that way because he's built structures there.
So what if you brought it up to that point right there and not, see, he's talking about, where's that? That mailbox is up there. What if you brought it to that point? That'd be to that parcel of
Well,
land. right
okay,
there.
so what I talked to them about was this. Okay, so we're gonna have, so when I came down this road, now this is just me talking.
Mhm.
Josh may want it different, but when I came down this road, look how pretty it is. Man, he's got kid toys out here. He's got little riding toys for his kids. He's got his dog running out here. You know what kind of people like to ride down back roads. So say somebody's gonna come down here, what's going to, and here's gonna be the end of the road. Where are they gonna turn around? You know where they're gonna turn around? They're gonna turn around right up here in his pretty green grass, or there's gonna have to be a turnaround there, right? Is that really what he wants, is a turnaround? So that's a conversation I had with them about it. It says,
What's here? Like, is this where it stops here or it stops here?
No,
But
it-
for now. So they turn around right there? It's a turnaround right here? Is it?
well, actually, I mean, the road goes through, but yeah, I mean, this is just probably where people turn around.
Yeah.
But
That's where we end, in other words,
our
right
maintenance ends,
here.
yeah.
Okay. So how many feet or how far would you say is from this point to that point?
I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I don't know.
1,000, 2,000?
1,500,
Okay.
1,500, I guess. That's what I guess. And think, and I, so, but that's a public road. I mean, that's still a road going on one property owner. It's still a driveway going on one property owner.
What's the other? His property had a green line around it,
That's his,
right?
this is his property. He owns this and this. He owns all this.
Okay, I got you.
And I'll go meet with Josh if you'd like me to go do that.
Well, like I said, I'm just going by the conversation that I had with him. He said that he built a home in 2010 and that the road was maintained for 2 years as requested by the police jury. In 2010, Rebecca was the jury in 2010.
And then he said after that, the jury started working.
He said in his mailbox, the mailbox originally was at Jerry's house because the mail route could not deliver to their home until after the 2-year period. After the 2-year period, their mailbox was moved to the current location. The road was maintained by the police jury until about 2 years ago. Since that time, he's paid for rock. It says I pay for rock as needed for maintenance. He said that he was told that the road was not eligible to be received into the maintenance, but it was worked.
Well, hell, a lot of roads were worked, driveways were
But
worked.
what I'm saying
We
is
all
he-
know that.
He went through the process for the 2 years. And I don't really know this. I don't really know him personally,
Yeah.
but he's
He's an established fellow in the
established
community.
fella, and I don't see no reason why he would tell me or anybody here a
And that was
story.
his argument when he reached out to me.
You
He
know,
wanted to come and you know,
Yeah.
same thing you
Yeah.
discussing, but he wanted to tell the whole board, because like I told him, I was just one vote
yeah,
or whoever.
So-
I said, I understand, but you know, to make this happen, you know, everybody's gonna have to be in agreement. And he was
Right.
wanting to, that's the reason I brought it up for today's road and shop, because he wants to be on the agenda to
right.
tell his side of the story. So. And that's where we
Okay,
are.
well, since we just talking, I'm gonna just tell y'all how I feel. I can be the bad guy. I don't feel like I'm the bad guy. I feel like I'm the honest person that goes sits down with people and says, this is where we're at. But if I'm gonna be that guy that goes out and tells people that and stands tall on what we have, and then people come and we do something totally different and against that, I think in this room, and y'all are in support of bringing in a driveway as a parish road, then I don't need to be going out doing that, you know?
But yeah,
You
you're exactly right.
And I would be 100% against it, but it's the part that gets me
is that he was
is
told,
that he done the process he was told to do,
okay. But we all know, and I understand that,
you know?
but we all know that years ago, this parish and every other parish did things that probably weren't supposed to do. And because they weren't, legislative officer hadn't come yet,
Right.
you
I
know?
mean, and that's what. woke us
Chicken
up.
house pads have done everything.
I mean, it was.
But still,
But that's not coming
But
back.
still, the process that he done is the way it's supposed to be done.
But
He was
what he
following the
didn't do
guidelines.
is he didn't follow up and bring it back to the jury in a timely manner and get it handled. So here we are now with a new set of rules that we follow. We all know better.
Well, he
You
said
can't
it
do
went
better
like
unless you know
8
better.
years went on, I guess, kind of what he told K-Wall and me too. That the
But he
parish
thought it was in the system.
the parish was
It's been
working.
worked.
But after the audit and everything started tightening up, you know, they kind of shied off.
Yeah.
And so then that's when he went to getting questioned.
Hey, and y'all, again, I'm gonna say it again. A parish road is whatever y'all say it is. If y'all vote this in as a parish road, we'll grade up his front door.
No, I
But-
would agree on the front door. I would agree going to that one piece of partial that his house is actually on, where the little green line is
But
at.
that doesn't meet our criteria.
You either go there or you go past his land to go to the Jones
It doesn't,
property.
the road doesn't go there. It goes on his property. It doesn't go along the property lines to have multiple property owners. But again, here I am being the
Yeah,
bad guy.
I understand.
you know?
But look, I'm just trying to find a way to help this guy
I
out.
know that.
And like I said, I don't really know him, but he's a
I get it.
well-known guy, and
Yeah.
I don't see why he would sit here and lie. Because I mean, he could blacktop it if he wanted to.
Sure it could.
It ain't.
It's
the point
got
about
it's
that.
a
the
beautiful
point.
road.
It's the point about he done the process like he was told to do. So, but anyway,
I mean, he done his part. I mean, not us, but I mean, Sabine Parish is the one who dropped the ball.
And-
That was before Mr. Bill's time.
and we
So, I
inherited
mean, you know,
that.
the
And there's a
paperwork.
lot of things that we
So
inherited.
we the bad guys now that should have been taken care of and documented years ago.
See, I see it different. I see it as he was very fortunate for a long time that the parish in their ignorance, foolishness, whatever, went out and took care of a road that's not a parish road and shouldn't have been a parish road. And for a long time, he got some good maintenance out of the deal.
But he said he done what he's supposed to do. I mean, that's the only thing.
But it didn't come to this body and that road get accepted as a parish road.
He said it has. I mean, but
But
we ain't got no paperwork on
But it didn't, you know. Again, I'm
Well,
not
it
looking to
did,
fight
we
anybody.
changed the rule.
I'm just
I mean,
trying
I'm
to do
like
my
you,
job.
I
Is what I feel is.
That's
what y'all
another
want
one of
to do.
these we inherited. We inherited a lot of things when we come in, what was it, 11, 12? So,
And then we got educated on a lot of things when the officer came through. Because I was sitting right here in this table. We was one-on-one, you know, Mr. Garcia, it's your turn. And I was shaking.
Well,
well, any thoughts? Bill, you got any thoughts on this, or you gonna lay back?
You don't like my thoughts.
Thoughts or thoughts?
My thought is it's a driveway. I mean, I'm with Bobby on this. I mean, the guy was lucky. He got good maintenance for a number of years, but it's a driveway. It's on his land, period. And, you know, if he'd like the road blacktop, okay. That's my thought.
And which I got a dog in this fight, but it don't really matter either way. I want it to be correct. But all he asked, I told him, I done what I said. I said I'd get it on the road shop, we'd discuss it, and then we'd go there if we're gonna put it on the agenda for him to come and, you know, let the whole board listen to him.
I mean, I'm just gonna say my thought. I went out there. I'd never been down to his place before. I don't know Josh. I mean, I know who he is, but I've never. Other than that day we called him there, I've never met him. But when I pull up, it's a beautiful place. It is beautiful. He's got a family out there. Again, like his dog running around, kid toys everywhere. My thought is, if it were me, I'd put a gate right there at the end of it, just like I have at my house. And I'd drive home and I'd click my button and my gate would open and I'd be in my paradise. I'd be, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful place. I wouldn't want it, but that's me. I wouldn't want a parish road because a parish
I
road
want it private.
allows any and everybody. And if somebody drives down there, even if they just driving down there, they drunk, they want to park down there and take a leak on the side of the road, they're going to do it. And it's a parish road, they could do that, you know.
But I guess that's.
But
Yeah.
But that's
that's just me. Hey, the guy's just got all I'm saying. He's got a beautiful
Well,
place.
As Eric said, he called me with his concern.
Yeah.
And I'm just relaying it on. I told we will discuss it in road shop. And if there's any other discussion on it, we'll vote. Ain't nothing to vote on though, is it?
I'm in agreement with Mr. Bill. I kind of feel the same way. You want to help everybody, but when you do one, you got to get them all.
All right, so we're gonna say Shelby Road does not meet the criteria to be accepted into a public road system.
How about him coming if he won't? Let him come next Wednesday and do his talk.
We'll put it on the agenda.
Could you reach out to him, Bob, and see if he wants to be on the agenda for next week?
I will.
Or Eric, one of y'all?
Mr. Bobby can,
Okay.
and tell him that was through my request. I requested, you know, that you get in contact with him and.
And then I'm gonna back up and say, when I reach out to Mr. Rupert, do you want Mr. Rupert to come if he
If
desires?
he wants to, I mean, but you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what would the vote, what we voting on?
It hadn't yet.
Okay.
We're not making a recommendation. We just.
So what's our recommendation?
I don't think we have a recommendation on this. We're just putting him on the agenda if he'd like to talk.
Okay, so we don't need a vote on nothing on this item?
Not on this.
Okay. All righty. Moving on to, if there's no other discussion on item 13, we'll move on to 14 and discuss Monk Cemetery Road.
That's me.
Okay,
It's a cemetery up there, it's a colored cemetery. Police you built the road in that 2 years, like this years ago. And maintained it for years, and then we stopped. And
So I got a little education a while ago. So, is this a public cemetery?
yes, it's a public.
But the parish don't own it?
The parish does not own it. I don't even know if they know who owns the land. Evans owns in front of it, going to it.
The cemetery's gonna be on Evans, but I don't know, that's just probably one of them deals.
It's
Tombstone started.
the tombstones is there, and every time they have funeral, they go to hall. So.
So do we maintain this road up to a certain point?
We maintain it to the cemetery gate. Have been for years.
For years it's been, but here lately we had,
So what you're saying is that
it's off of Lone Star Road.
okay, so it's not on the log as being a public road?
But I thought we done went through this, that we said we
You
was
know,
gonna.
they come before and we told them to get, we go through Miss Rachel's. And then it's laying behind it.
Okay.
On the other 3 sides of it, it's private landowner.
We're not trying to adopt that road just to maintain it.
Yeah.
Blade it.
So it's not on the law book as being a public road now?
How about Mr. Bill?
So who owns it? But regardless, like you said, Bill, it's a private cemetery.
It's a private cemetery. Now, I'm still open to what we talked about.
Okay.
Do they have a cemetery board?
Probably not.
Can they get one?
I can get with them and see.
You can be the president of that board.
No.
The only way that we possibly could help them,
Okay.
and this is going to open Pandora's box, is to do a CEA. If they agree to let indigent people be buried there.
I don't know, one woman went up and shot herself
Well, she probably was indigent.
and died there.
Okay, and then put her in the ground there, huh?
No, they hauled her out. I don't know where they buried her at, but Ronnie went and got the car that night.
So,
If we did a CEA, but like I told you, that's gonna open up every cemetery in the parish to want a CEA with us to maintain the road to
Mr. Bill,
the gate.
to the gate. This one is not. A lot of them have got a cemetery association.
Right,
This one don't.
right.
if
But somebody's got to be in charge of it, or we can't do a CEA.
Okay.
if someone wanted to be buried there, who would they contact?
One mother's dig a hole.
Some of them, but I don't know.
So you could find
I
it.
can find out.
Well, just like
Let's do
Mr.
some
Bill
more
said,
research.
I'm just,
I just
you know,
want to know how.
you opening that
how
door.
to go.
We opening the door.
you open the door if you do it.
Same door as we'd open with them other 2 driveways.
You open the door because there are cemeteries all
All
over the
big
place.
woods. You got what?
Big Woods,
Castle and
Castle, Sardis,
And you're gonna get back to
Paul.
Taylor, I got 4 dogs out there.
See
got
there?
hooked stone.
See there?
you said Paul, that's owned by one guy, you said.
Yeah. Well, he's the one man committee.
yeah.
He cuts all the grass and
Freddie.
keeps it up. So we have Freddie.
So,
You know. But anybody can be buried there.
yeah, so
I know.
where do we stop?
I know.
So. And he lives right there at the graveyard. So he see who comes in and out of the gate.
Mr. Bill, Mr. Bill, Mr.
Well, that's just
Ruffin
like
was
going back in Salters,
That's
there's
what
nobody
I-
lives, that's all.
They
Well,
messed
it's
up the
Evans,
house.
up front, different landowners, but it just
The
goes.
hearse.
Yeah. Yeah, said the road cost it, you know what cost it? They circle around, run over a tombstone.
That'll do it.
That'd mess up the hearse real quick.
And this be in your road district.
Yes, in my road district. In road district 20.
I appreciate that, but this goes back for years trying to help cemeteries.
I know,
And you just,
you're getting a fine.
there's all kind of precedent on this. You can't do it.
And next,
And like I said, I hate it, but I don't want to, me personally, I don't want to open that door, man.
We'd open the door.
Big time.
Because you take throughout this whole parish, there's no telling how many cemeteries. And when you do one, we can't keep up with the roads we have now.
I know.
amen.
But hey,
Especially after these
they can't say
14
I
inches or
didn't try.
15 inches of rain we got last week. We trying to,
3 weeks of wet stuff, you know.
I mean, but hey,
In May.
How far does your grader go towards that cemetery?
This is right by.
Drive, Long Star Road.
He goes right by it? So what do they need done?
Like, keep it bladed.
Well, if you blade Lone Star Road, that keeps it going to the cemetery.
Now you turn off Long Star 14.
Oh,
how far is it off the long
14.
14? I don't know where it's at. So. Anyway,
I measured it yesterday.
Yeah, I've been there all around.
Yeah, you cut Evans all around it. But a lot of people don't even know it's a cemetery back there. Like a lot of these others around. That's when I'm on Glen Hill Road, you couldn't get to if you with 4-wheel drive right now, I don't think.
well, if Mr. Bill, you feel that this is something that's what we can do,
Possibly with a CEA.
possibly, work with Mr. Bill on that, kind of see what y'all can come up with,
I'm gonna find out who's what so far. You know what?
You may just establish the CEA, you may be the.
he's gonna be the president of
Allie,
the
you
board.
better have your CEA forms
I
ready.
better, I'm gonna be
Hey.
broke.
All right, any other discussion on this? You
Nope.
work with Mr.
All
Bill.
right.
We're moving on to item 15.
This is mine.
We didn't have to vote nothing on that. Okay, discuss the ARPA funds.
At some point, I've been asked to say one thing.
Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know if you, Kristen, because
I'm looking. No, you go.
Bo Stewart asked me if he's not here to let everybody know that Plainview Road was on there. We're planning to work Plainview. It's ready to overlay now, but we're holding off to see if the jury is going to allow him to use ARPA funds on Plainview.
All right. Maybe you remember this.
Didn't we give them the
Probably
money?
don't. Yeah.
Huh?
Didn't we give them the money the other day?
So,
Mhm.
You don't get.
Plainview Road. So he was planning on doing Plainview Road in his own budget?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's a no.
And then, okay.
Can't do this.
Well, help me remember this. Couple years ago, Plainview had funds dedicated to it. Didn't he pull those funds and put them on Progress Church Road? I think
Not Prospect.
not
Prospect.
Prospect. When they was doing a project up there, because
That's when the grant money.
that's when the grant money was still in the shuffle. Correct.
That's the way I remember it.
And so, I spoke with Bo on the phone that day. I said, now, once you pull that and you put it on whatever road that was down there, that funding for Plainview
Done.
is done. So,
I remember the conversation.
and I'm just saying that, I know we all need roads done. I don't want, but, it's been a lot of funds, parish funds spent on Plainview Road since I've been here. And I imagine with a little time, Miss Allen and them could figure up how much money's been spent on that road. But I was thinking that was the deal we made back then. But I would like to, do some research, and I may be wrong. Maybe a whole different conversation, but as far as I remember,
Well, what did we give him that money for the other day? Wasn't that Plainview Road?
that's for Plainview Road. Yeah. And then that grant that we got, the parish at that time spent $200,000 on that, the first phase of the
Yeah, on the
grant.
first phase, yeah.
We was out 250,000 to get that project done.
Got tied up close to $1 million in
Yeah.
Plainview Road.
Yeah.
I ain't had that much in the whole district.
What's
left on the road? Yeah.
In 10 years.
Man.
But anyway, I want to,
Well, I was
discuss
asked to
that.
express that,
I
so I did.
understand that. All right. So this CB Bird, it says pipeline by, what's that?
You look,
I'm looking at this list here. And I did
Okay,
it
so-
because I see Plainview Road on it.
so this list that you're looking at, the front page, is our, what we've always called our wish list. So this is just our road district projects. And this is just,
Okay.
you know, what I've got on here now. And
This list, off the list?
no, go back a page, go back to the PTA. That's your PTA right there.
Okay. The front page?
The one that's 24, 25, 26. There you go.
Front page.
That's 24.
Okay.
And I have on here, Manny Marthville, we will change that funding, remember, Bill? We're gonna change that from that up. So that's the only PTA project that we've completed this year.
Which part of my road do you work on?
Okay.
So,
I get it.
however, Little Flock, we're a good ways into Little Flock. We're just not complete yet. We've got everything but the paving done. So Little Flock's the first project on here. So that's the only thing.
So these are the ARPA roads.
No, these PTA
These
roads.
PTA roads.
Okay.
ARPA roads,
We had
whenever we got the ARPA funding, we needed a list to give to, whatever they call it, agency.
Crossway and then.
Well, it was, SLF something.
Something.
for the ARPA fund.
For the ARPA, we had to give a budget, so to speak, how we were gonna spend that $4 million. And we never really developed a list of the roads, so we took what we had on the PTA and put it in ARPA. So we had the same roads on two lists. And as we've developed and gone through this grant, we've modified our listing, which we can amend it. And we spent down to where we have 3 roads left on the ARPA list.
Mhm.
One of which is Plainview for $249,000.
Okay, that'd be this one.
We got ARPA for 249 on that. The other 2, I don't remember. They're small. They're like 50, 60,000 each. But I sent an email to everybody and said, look, this was originally on the PTA. I might not have said that, but that's what it was. And this is what's listed on ARPA today. We can amend that list if y'all would like to. And that's what I need, is to know what roads the police jury wants to spend ARPA funds on, so that I can change that listing and get it in line. And so that Bobby will know what funds are gonna be ARPA funds and what are gonna be PTA funds.
Well, this is just an idea, correct me if I'm wrong, but can you get what's left, like the total amount of ARPA fund money?
Yeah, it's on the email.
It's on the email.
Why couldn't we just do
Right here.
like each jury, or each district, and split that money up, and then we give you a list of like what roads that'll take care in my district? I mean, does that make sense? I mean,
That's fine with me. I
be
just,
equal with everybody, because if not, I would like to have all the ARPA funds, but you know, that's not right for the parish. I
that's
mean,
fine.
parish funded.
That's, however y'all decide to do it, I just want to know what roads
And then I don't know what, if we get $100,000 piece, we can get together and
was 359.
find out some more blacktop we can do in Mr. Bonner.
I think it's about 359 left on.
If you don't take care of the people, they
All
won't
right,
take
so
care of
it
you.
shows here, Lee Egypt has 50,196. Fire Tower has 28,000. Plainview has 249,000.
Right.
Can I change the Little Egypt to part-time?
Yeah.
Cause Little Egypt just got $500,000.
That's what I'm
But
asking
if
for.
we
Let's-
bust it up equally, then you
Yeah.
can make your own list, do what you want to. You'll just have the money and your asphalt budget, I guess, or they have to be in your asphalt or road work, right?
When we get the fund.
So you saying take the total? You saying take the total?
Yes, and distribute it through, each of us.
So you gonna take,
And those three right there,
$39,000.
forget those three. That's what everybody's saying. Forget those three.
forget
just-
these
just
three and
take
just
the
take
road
the
list.
$327,000 and split it?
9 ways.
You ain't getting much.
You ain't
Yeah.
You don't get much.
So,
So donate, everybody donate y'all's to me and I can get that 4,000 foot done.
That's just, I just ask for y'all to think about it and decide how you want, if you want to leave it the way it is, that's fine. Just however y'all want to do it.
now Little Egypt,
Little Egypt is gonna be covered.
Little Egypt was part of the PTA.
Yeah, it's gone. They just got, when we get that check, it'll
Okay.
be gone.
So was Fire Tower part of this list? PTA list?
Is it,
No,
was that
That's-
Fisher Fire Tower?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So that ain't in
that's
the
not
first
his.
quartile.
That's,
Okay, so that's gonna be Fisher Fire
and
Tower.
I think that was something that was a Charlie Brown thing a long time ago. So I don't think that's something we need to address because we chose to handle that differently. So that's, yeah, but that's Fisher Fire Tower.
Okay.
But I don't even
That bird
see
trying
it.
to get all the money.
I don't see it on this list.
No,
at
okay,
all.
well, it's taken care of already. That's a list.
Okay, so it's taken care of.
I think, Fisher Fire Tower and
All right, so birds out of luck then.
If it gets just 30-something thousand, he can put that.
Yeah,
But he-
give me that 30-something thousand.
You said that road was taken.
Yeah,
We just need to-
Little Egypt is taken care of.
remember that's one I think we sent in for payment.
Okay,
But it should be
but it shows here Lee Egypt
PTA, but it's still on there, right?
is on this PTA list for 2024. Lee Egypt had 1.5 miles of reclaiming rock.
Mhm. We done reclaimed it and rocked it. Now Swing's on blacktop.
Okay,
So,
so those funds.
So that,
So there was a total of $250,000 that's the PTA has spent on that. So, no,
No.
it was budget,
we didn't spend anything.
it was budget.
Man,
We didn't spend any money.
Swing.
We did labor, but we didn't spend any
well,
money.
we know.
So could Bird can change this road name to a different road,
So that was
correct?
250,000,
Little Egypt,
that's on
something else.
PTA.
Correct, Bill?
Budget.
yeah,
Y'all can amend.
that's still his
So
funding.
you've got a spot. You got $250,000 spot for another road.
Okay.
As long as
We'll
it's
have
not
to
a
amend the
cemetery road.
PTA list in open session.
So that $250,000 still available to him?
That's on the original PTA
Yeah.
list. He's not gonna use it. Yeah, I mean, if y'all want to, it's however y'all want to amend it.
Well, he's gonna share that with us too.
Okay,
Yeah,
Well, Bird had him a spot for Little Egypt Road, but we just luckily got Little Egypt funded
Taken care of.
somewhere
Right.
else.
right.
So you got another road to go.
So yeah, I got you. All right, now what was the other road? Fisher, you said, but that's taken care of.
That was a
And that was-
Charlie Brown project years ago, and we already took care of that last year. So
So that's 28,000. Y'all watch my turn here. I'm gonna say 28,000 goes back into the pot. Okay. So what you're telling me, Bill, is offered
$350.
$327,000 minus 50,
Minus 50 for what?
because Burgess,
No.
no, that's full. You're right,
Yeah,
you're
the full-
right. So
full
we
amount.
have 327, okay.
That's right.
All right.
And we need to know how y'all want to allocate that 327 on the ARPA grant.
Okay.
What roads
So
are roads?
why wouldn't we just go down to the next road that's available?
That'd be cutting me out.
I mean, because we're working off the PTA list, offer list or PTAs, whatever. So why wouldn't you just go down to the next road? That's less you're gonna have to do
Out of PTA.
out of 25 or 26. That's gonna shove them roads up closer.
We're not gonna get to all these roads anyway this year. And plus, what number we at? We don't have this much in PTA, do we?
You got 327 Oh, no, PTA, you got about 800 right
We got almost $2.5 million from projects. We're not gonna be able to fund them.
now.
We got more projects on this than we got money.
I mean, you get 2.1.
And a lot of them are oil sand anyway, so we're not gonna be able to get to them.
Yeah, mine's the whole thing.
Well, everything on here.
This
is
is
So
on-
whatever, I guess, okay, whatever available funds that we have should go down to the next road. But you're saying they have to be spent.
By December, after the obligated are spent.
Bobby, let's get Zachary Taylor done.
So out of these, let me ask y'all this, out of these roads that are on PTA that we have designated as oil sand, does anybody have a willingness to change that to asphalt?
Well, you said CB, now I'm on this project list. Am I on the right list or I need to be on this
No,
list?
yeah,
Okay.
don't look at that.
All right, live flop.
It's in the works.
Is it done?
No, it's gonna be overlaid next
Okay.
month or
Okay.
two.
Eves Lane.
Oil sand, we're just on pause.
Oh, you hold. Okay, go down. Car heat.
Oil sand on pause.
Hold.
Cedar Grove is designated as oil sand.
They all oil sand.
Yeah.
All sand.
Ain't it? No, that's reclaiming rocks.
Yeah, and oil sand.
All sand. On
Yeah,
the end.
All of them is.
You want asphalt Cedar Grove instead of oil sand? Huh?
That's me.
Ah.
Oh, that's
me
you then?
and Bruce.
Yeah, what you want?
Three quarters of a mile
How much? How
from
much
Cedar Grove to Big End Ranch is what you said?
from the church?
Well, it says, yeah, to ranch.
Well, it is blacktop there.
Blacktop.
It's already blacktop. If we had the pug mill, I wouldn't say that, but because of the trucks.
You'd make some happy people down there.
Yeah,
You want,
Wait.
okay, so we're gonna change that to asphalt.
So are you gonna be able to, now, he said there's a lot of trucks on it.
well, it's all back in them woods. It's all.
Timber.
Mhm.
Timber.
And you gonna blacktop it?
I just got a track there.
Or do you wanna just mill it and make a good rock road?
Is it blacktop now?
It's got ragged.
There's some asphalt
blacktop.
somewhere underneath there, all that is up.
Yeah.
I know, I
Put
know.
that
But
stuff,
we're gonna
you better
open
leave
up
it
a
alone.
firm list when you mill up that asphalt in
live-
front of
uh-uh.
that church.
And that
Okay.
dust is gonna be.
You like, what do you wanna mill it up and then lay it back down with asphalt?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I really don't even have a problem with just overlaying it like Zachary Taylor's gonna get done.
Without milling it.
Mm-hmm. You already got your base there,
Let's ride out and look at it.
okay?
We can have a pre-construction meeting.
Well, man,
Are you moving that one to, asphalt?
what you think, Bird?
Then we'll look at it.
Yeah, cause we mill that thing up. And
You gonna be
Man.
dusty.
I know, y'all milled up some of it before I was up in here and oh God, Facebook was lit up over it.
They'll drive that old rough, hard blacktop any day before they take that gravel road,
That dust.
that dust and mud.
And then that
Okay.
next week, they'll be dropping a bunch of potholes in the blacktop.
So that's $125,000 project.
Okay.
True. Well, is this kind of a updated price on this or somewhat?
Just for clarification, we're moving PTA roads to the ARPA roads? Is that what we're doing?
That's what we're doing.
Let them do.
Which the ARPA roads were already some of the PTEA roads that we put in place. They were already on the list, and when the ARPA funds become available, we had to have something to turn into them, so we turned into PTA list, correct?
That's what happened. That's right.
And so we've been working off the PTA list, paying for those roads out of the ARPA funding. But now we have to December to spend the rest of the ARPA funding, so we need to use it up on PTA roads. And to me, the correct thing to do is just go right down the list. Because it wouldn't be fair to me for you to put your road in front of mine, or me put mine in front of Barry's or anybody's.
Well,
Let's
it's
just go down
okay
the list.
I put mine in front of you, but let's don't do it the other way.
But to me, that's the fairest thing to do, just go down the
Okay,
list.
well, let me ask you this, backing up. So right now, all we're talking about is just ARPA fund. We're just trying to
Trying to
Trying to
figure out
spend
how
ARPA
to spend
funds.
$327,000 by
Well,
December
well, look.
31.
How about on Little Flock? Because we've already, and I don't know, Bill, I don't know if you've got the whole amount. You might have them up here now to be paid. I doubt you've paid them yet. But we've sent in a lot of rock invoices for Little Flock. Couldn't we just code that out of ARPA? Because that's going to be a big expense. ARPA and this road's probably going to take all your money.
Well, I can,
Little Flock and Fear Road.
if y'all want to use Little Flock, that's fine. I'll just have to.
Well, it's
do a
ARPA or
check.
PTA. It's the same thing.
I'll have to do a check to transfer funds from
No, I don't
ARPA
like
to
that.
PTA and then support it with the invoices from Little Flock. That makes no difference to me.
Because all we're trying to do is hurry up and get that money spent.
I want $327,000.
Those two projects will do it right there.
Yeah.
And then your PTA money is available. We don't have a time limit on that,
That's right, no time limit on PTA.
and that just stays in the bank.
Yeah, and you only have so much of it. So you
That's
only, yeah,
That solves our problem, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's obviously.
that's what I would do.
Otherwise, Eric don't get $37,000.
That's what I do.
Dang, you.
I go right down the list.
So we want to change it to Little Flock and
Anything,
Cedar Grove.
Shady Grove and Little Flock.
Cedar Road.
Cedar Grove and Little Flock.
So will you check and see what we sent to you on that? Or do you want me to
Yeah.
get it? You want me to get us to check?
Well, if has Ashley sent the stuff up
I'll
here
find
yet,
out. I'll find out.
just find out.
Okay, so before we, I want to get clear on this. Manny Marthaville Road's out of the picture, it's done.
Done.
Okay, now, we jumping from,
Pause, I'm
we
sorry.
scooping we skipping number 2 and
Hang on a
number
second,
3.
Manny Martha, I'm sorry. Manny Marthaville. No, now we're going on something else, Bill. Remember, I asked you, we paid this out of the pipeline money,
Mhm.
and I asked you to check it out of PTA. And I don't know if you've done that yet, but if you haven't, can you take that out of ARPA as well? Instead of PTA?
Yeah, I can do that. It doesn't make any difference.
I mean, that's already $57,000 into your 349.
Yeah, but didn't we have 348 on the first one, on Little Flock? Only need 327.
Okay,
He said if we did
I
all
got you, I got
this,
you, I got you.
then-
Okay,
Okay.
so we're gonna, and this is just my question is, well, I guess these are Bird's Roads. So this we jumping Eves Lane, Little Egypt, and Carhead because they already taken care of, in that process.
That little Egypt is now.
Okay,
The others is not,
No, nothing else.
nothing else.
We've not started on anything else.
so how are those projects going to be funded?
PTA.
PTA.
All we're gonna do is take the first road, Little Flock,
Okay,
which has been scheduled to be used PTA money.
okay,
Instead of using PTA funds, we're gonna use $327,000 worth of ARPA funding.
gotcha,
The balance be paid out of PTA, if there's any more than that.
gotcha,
Then we're gonna start going down the list with PTA money as far as it goes.
That'd be the simplest thing to wipe it off.
to get it out. That's what I'm talking about. Let's just go down the
I don't
line.
wanna give money back.
No,
No,
no. Okay. And so with that said, I'll be glad when we get this office spent, I can have one list. I can have, but that says, so where does that put Bo's, road?
Bo ain't getting it.
It's not,
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
we're gonna spend road district funds on that.
Okay. But still talk with Bo. I mean, if he wants to call me, I'm thinking that's a discussion that we had about those projects. And then what-
Nobody's getting anything but-
I don't remember the details, but I do remember the.
Well, what that does is that brings, if you do have a project, it brings you up closer. So come next year,
That'd
whatever,
be the simplest thing for Mr. Bill. Then we just get that
Go
out
right
there
down the
and get
list.
it
Get rid of it.
And
All right.
mine, I'm waiting on Pub Mill. My road.
done. That's what we're waiting
Well,
on. We might
yeah.
as well just set the put mill up and go. Let them come. I'll put my name
I-
on it.
have you heard anything from that?
It'll be several weeks. You know how it is.
I heard that we'll be getting something on that soon, is my last, what I heard. So evidently somebody's talking about it.
Good.
I got an email yesterday from them, and they're to the point with ours. They want to know where to mount the control box. I got it at the end of the day yesterday, and I haven't answered back yet. But so they're getting close to having our machine built. I did talk to the guy a while back, and I said, look, we're going through some troubles right now, and we might need to. When it's done, we might not be ready for it to be delivered right away. Is that a problem? He said, man, we got a big old yard. We'll just let it sit.
Man,
So
we need that.
Oh.
yesterday.
Yeah, we needed it yesterday.
Pete, I'm glad you brought that up. Pete, I talked with him a few weeks ago. He wants to put some of that,
fly
fly ash on that pad to tighten it up. And I told him, and I dropped the ball. I told him that I would get with the road shop. I don't see no problem in it. Even if we don't get to use it, we got a pad out there. We could use it, always use it
Stockpile
for
material?
something. So to me,
We're gonna
get
get
with
to use it. We gotta figure out a
yeah,
way.
well, we gonna do it, but to me, it now be a good time to go ahead and get that pad and put the fly ash to it. He said it's gonna tighten it up, so. I don't see why we should be holding off, just move along with it and let him do his deal on
He told me a while back, he said, I've got some coming in. He said, I'm gonna put it over here anyway.
it. Well, he's gonna do it anyway. But I believe he's wanting to cut it in, ain't there or not?
Yeah, you.
Did he mention cutting it in?
You're gonna have to cut the flag.
Yeah, he wanting to cut it in, so. But anyway, I told him I'm good with it regardless if I feel comfortable, we'll be okay, but you know, if we don't, well then, I mean, we're still gonna have a good pad there we could use for something else.
If anybody's going, this has nothing to do with what you're talking about, but if anybody's going out toward Chester's, you see them people doing that chip seal out there yesterday? Man, these people had them about a 1957 model crew out there. They had some equipment that they drug out of a field doing that work, but I sat there for a while watching them yesterday. Man, it just looked like a bunch of somebody's out there doing work. You
It's
saw it?
Madden.
No, I don't live
Huh?
out that way.
It's Madden, isn't it?
Is it Madden?
It's bad.
Man, does.
It might be
I
a
don't know.
sub, but.
No,
Madden's got the
Madden's
contract.
Allison's car.
Not doing that.
Yeah,
They
I know.
was, Madden done the milling on it.
I don't believe this is
And they
Madden.
gonna come back
Brand new
in
Dodge
asphalt.
Challenger.
I
The
believe,
state's got a contractor now
She
that
called me mad.
chip sealed them.
Them trucks was flying down through there and they sprayed, there's 4 or 5 trucks, they sprayed their car with rocks and it's X all
Oh,
over.
Boy, people's been
God.
mad. They've been
My
beating me
daughter,
up on it. I said,
brand-
what you want me
brand
to do?
new
It's
Dodge
state highway.
Challenger.
it was us.
No,
Look what they
that
doing
crew
on
out
the
there.
road.
you better get in touch with the state, all I can tell you.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right,
Well,
so we got the ARPA fund stuff done.
Right.
Don't we need a
Contract.
recommendation?
We're gonna need a
I
recommendation.
need a motion to,
Recommend.
make the recommendation for these ARPA funds.
I'll make that motion.
Got a
I'll
motion by
second.
Eric, a second by Bruce.
Since Mr. Barry's getting on.
All in favor?
Yeah.
All opposed?
I can get it.
Have we got
I
anything?
already had mine, so it's gone down to whoever was next on the PTA list.
But you gonna be closer.
If you need somewhere to spend it, I got a road now. If you
And
want-
don't forget about your little money you got coming toward the end of the year. You still got a little bit there, so. Or did you get yours already?
It's 60.
Got a
60.
bridge that I had to repair,
For 60?
35,
Oh, that's half price, man.
55. 55, 35.
35.
Told me 35.5 for the one bridge.
If you talk to Mr. Bill, he might be able to
Don't,
work
Bill
it
talking
in.
to Bill since we started this.
He might be able to get yours to your list sooner than ours.
Yeah.
You know. All right. We'll make that recommendation. You got that, Miss Allen?
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on to a discuss of trees and right of way. Is that gonna be mine, Bobby?
Well,
Or is that
I'd
just
like
in
us to get to
general?
that, but could we just talk about trees and right of way in general? So I'd like to share with y'all my thoughts or where I'm at with it. So we've got trees in Sabine Parish. A lot of them are in a right of way. A lot of them look like they might fall. A lot of them are dead and will fall. We get tree calls all the time. And I came to the jury, I don't know, years ago, and said, hey, look, I'd like some direction from the jury on what to do because, you know, jurors come to me all the time. You and I have had difference of opinions about trees, you know, and I don't want to get cross with anybody, but I want to rhyme to the reason. I want to know, what are we going to do? Because Bird and I have gone out and looked at some trees and had some thoughts on them. But to hire a contractor to come out and cut down a tree, to me, is a real serious thing. We need to know that that tree is in our right of way. If we're going to sign a purchase order and we're going to spend money to cut down a tree, then we need to know we need to be able to. This is my opinion. We need to be able to justify that expenditure because the minute we do it, the next door neighbor, their mama, their aunt, the other people down the road, the people across the street, everybody's going to have a tree that they won't cut down, and we don't have the money to do that. So cutting down a tree. People call all the time, hey, there's a dead tree over here, man. One day it's going to fall on a school bus. It's going to fall on a kid. It's going to fall on a lady. We need to cut it down. We don't cut down a tree just because it's dead. Because a tree, if it's standing up, it might fall this way out of the road just as easily. It might fall this way out of the road rather than in the road. So this conversation is brought up now because K-Wall had mentioned to me about a tree. I went out and looked at it, took pictures of it. I just would like to know from the jury, again, we've got new jurors. So from the jury, we need to come up with kind of some guidance for me. We don't have a written policy. I remember what the jury said. The agreement we came to last time was kind of like this. If a tree falls, we clean it up. If it has the potential to fall, well, when it falls, we'll clean it up. We don't go looking for trees to cut down. That's kind of it.
Only thing I gotta say on that issue, you know, just like if I got a constituent comes to me and says it's a big tree and we don't cut it, I mean, it's just on my shoulders. If it does fall, somebody gets in a wreck and, you know, then they gonna say, well, we done contact. And now here we got a fatality or somebody hurt and you didn't do anything about it. You know, look like
I get
which,
that.
and you know, that's a lot on your shoulders. You don't make, and it's going to be your kin people. I mean, I say kin people, somebody you know, if it's in your district. And I mean, that's what's on my shoulders. That's what I think about it. But then can we go around cutting every tree? I mean, you know, that's.
And everybody.
Maybe you're gonna have to make a judgment call when you get those calls, Bob.
Exactly.
Well, but here's what I don't want to get into. It's a judgment call that gets me cross with the juror. I'm not looking to get an argument with nobody. I'm not going to get, you know, you and I've had.
Get with your juror.
Well, I'm going to use Eric because he and I have done past this. We laugh about it. But Eric and I got strong with each other about a tree one time.
You're getting strong with a pretty good sized fella.
I mean, I did it from across the street, you know.
You was on one side, he was on the other.
Yeah, I was getting ready. But, you know, I felt that I was doing the right thing with the way I viewed it. You did too. And it ended up, Eric went out there on his own time, took his equipment out there and cut the tree down for the people. But, you know.
You do that for me. You do that for me.
I'll do it for anybody if I think it's going to harm somebody. In a safety issue.
Yes, as like I said, we all know there's dead trees all over this parish. I drive by them all the time down these roads.
Look at them on the state highway.
You know, but then in some cases you come across these places that there's a big dangerous tree when you have 60 residents down there. You have a lot of public traffic down there. I make 4 trips a day down through there. From what I seen, and that's the one we be talking about. From what I seen, if something did happen, I know who would get sued over it. The parish would.
And then another like this example, and another deal is that every road district is different. There are road districts, a couple road districts that can afford to cut down quite a few trees. There are some that it hurt them to cut down 2 trees, you know.
And I'm not one of these that wants to go and cut every tree. I don't like cutting trees.
That's right.
I'll be honest with you, I don't like it. But whenever it comes to the safety of the residents that live down there, the people that go to public landing this summer, and I've been watching the tree for months.
Yeah.
Until the other day, one of them big limbs fell out of it. And I rode around that school bus, and that limb was right there in that road. And I said, well, it's going to start falling apart at the top. It's got limbs on it this big. The base is this big around. So if something, I don't see it just falling over the whole tree. It's going to rot out limb at a time. And, I sure wouldn't want to be through there in that school bus with 70 kids in it whenever it falls out, goes through that bus. But I sure won't know that none of them residents down there just passing through, or a kid on a bicycle or whatever, because there's always something falling out of this tree. So I would hate not to do anything about it, knowing to where it's located
And the potential.
and the potential of it. I don't know. Have you seen those pictures, Bill? Look at those pictures. I can tell you who's going to get sued.
And in the case of this tree that we're talking about, I think this tree is in our right of way. It is a tree that when it falls, it will fall on the road, and it's dead. It's been so. I don't think our conversation today, at least my thought is, it's not really about this tree, because I think this tree is a tree that probably should go. But just, and we can have this conversation as little or as long as we want to.
Well,
But I just want everybody to know that the tree business is a sticky conversation. It always has been.
and
If you get a call on the tree, my first thoughts are you should go inspect it. And if you have doubts, then you go to your jury. and then-
always our rule of thumb was, if it's on that back slope back there, that it's not ours. That's part of it. A lot of these roads are built on property lines and stuff. But anyway, but if the tree falls and hits in a road, well, we go clean it up. But as far as you go down and you try to cut every dead tree that's on a line, you can't do that.
And we can't cut down every tree that has the potential to fall.
Want my opinion on that?
Yes, sir.
All right, our largest right of way is 60 feet? So that's 30 feet from the center line. That's the most we'll ever own. I think what we should do is whenever we have a dead tree, measure from the center line to that tree. If it's within 30 feet and we can pass a resolution to that, we'll cut it.
Oh, Mr. Bobby.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, Mr. Bobby.
Oh, Lord, Bill, you better get you a line out of
Mr.
it.
Bill's talking right.
You know
now.
what, you're right. Yeah, that's a bad idea because we got some 10 foot wide.
Hell yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Exactly.
No, don't do that, Bill.
Anyway, let's discuss this road. Let everybody see the
Maybe
picture.
Let me add one thing. though. We need to see who the property owner is.
Well,
And then write a letter to the property owner and say, you got a dead tree that is a danger to the parish. And give them a time limit to cut it and say, if you don't cut it, we're going to cut it and we're going to make you pay for it.
That's a good idea, but that's gonna be ugly on our end. They ain't gonna
Want to be ugly, period.
that's Rick Site 4.
That's red side
Yeah.
4.
What's power line at there?
That's-
Oh.
That red
It's
side
right
4.
on the top of the backside.
That was another.
And Bill, when I look at those,
Okay.
I pull the property records and look at the some property lines go across the road, but that's on right at the top of the backside of the ditch. So it's on our slope, and it's gonna fall in the road.
Yeah, it's leaning towards road.
And that guy, that's Mr. J.B. Richards' house. He lived there 100 years when the lake come in, and his fence has always been behind that pine tree.
Come on in.
Always been behind that pine.
Here you
He
go.
gonna say that he don't
Here,
own it.
here,
And all the utilities or in line with that.
Hey,
pine
just the
tree.
guy
How
we
they
need.
know where he was, he must've been listening to us talk about it.
Let me see. Show up.
They won't
I
get
seen
it.
him, I seen him.
Is that the tree you was talking about?
Yeah, that's the one I go by every day.
Oh, this is.
And I'm telling you, if it goes through that bus, I know who's gonna get sued.
By Bunk.
All 72 of them gonna have a lawsuit on us.
But I'd say a tree like that, there's no question, we need to get it down. You know, it's a threat to everybody.
Talking about trees.
Have a seat there.
When do we own them and when do we not own them?
What road is that?
Lakeside 4.
Is there a recorded right of way?
No,
Or is
sir.
it simply one of those wagon trails? that-
Backside of ditch to backside of
That's
ditch.
that gift that the DOTD gave the parish years ago. They said that used to be a state highway.
Well, then if it was a state highway, there should be a right of way. I
That's
didn't
just
think,
hearsay.
I thought the state owned all the right of ways, don't they, Bill?
Well,
Yeah, but none of them the same.
Well, let me,
None of them
let me
same
tell
width.
you that my opinion on that, the photo makes it appear it's probably leaning across the road. I'd go out there and take that thing down if I was you. Because it's a public hazard. Bill, you drive it every day between Robaline and Hagewood, all in pines. I heard they
There's
cut
much
some,
difference.
they cut a bunch. I think somebody told me, but I drove it last week and there's
Still a ton of
50 of them that's gonna fall across the highway.
them.
I can't say why, when they cut that timber, they didn't cut that.
Well, I don't know either, Randy, but
The company's
when
liability.
the state of Louisiana drive, and when they sit there and look at trees that without a question are gonna fall across the road. I mean, it's not a matter of if, it's just when.
Wind.
And to let them, I mean, and some of them are so rotten, they're ready to fall any time. And to sit there and not take them down and get them, I just don't understand. It, to me, it's just crazy.
Look at 120, that by Seymour, the hailstorm hit. And all them pines, all them trees is dead, they
You
don't
know,
come out in the
I
road.
recommended to Caleb at one time when that first happened, because they've been dead a long time. I said, man, you ought to go over and get with the highway people. And all he said, Dad, during that, even with that bureaucracy,
Yeah.
it's like, I said, well, they need to, I don't know if they got the equipment to do it themselves, they need to take it down. Y'all can probably take that down, can't you?
Probably, but you know, my problem with it is if it's not in right of way, it's illegal for us to do it.
I don't think it is when it poses a hazard.
But are we responsible for it, or is the property owner responsible for it? I was just saying, let's look at the property lines and so tell the owner that he's cut the tree down, or we're gonna cut it down and build, it's one of the two.
Well, you can do that. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Tell him you got so many days to get it down, and we're gonna take it down because it poses a hazard to us.
That's right, and then,
Mr. Dunn, we'd be the worstest juror in that district ever if you do that.
well, not only that,
Who's the
we
property owner?
we
Who's the property owner?
Well, the property owner, I'm talking as far as us. They
No, I said that, but who is it? Do you know?
Oh, I don't.
J.B. Richards. He's dead.
Got
His
it.
wife's dead.
Goes down Cindy
His
Brook.
son's there, but
No.
I'm not 100% sure, but let me tell you, the law I do know. A lot I don't know more than I do know, but I happen to know one. That if on private property, I'm kind this through the years. If I got a tree next to you and my tree looks fine and all, and the storm comes and breaks and goes over on you and tears your carport or car or house or whatever, I'm not responsible.
right.
On the other hand, if I got a tree and it's dead and it's obvious it's a hazard and I don't do anything about it and it falls on you, that's not an act of God. That's on me. I'm responsible and liable. So I know that between two landowners, but so I'm trying to apply that to this situation, and I understand I'm dealing with a public body and it's different. Y'all's liability that I'm concerned about is your liability to somebody driving down the road that gets in a wreck and seriously injured
or property damage. You knew it was gonna fall over your road and you didn't do anything about it. That concerns me. I do agree, Bill, that probably the correct legal answer would be that the landowner, because I think in his situation, if that tree falls and kills somebody going down that highway at night or something, I think there would be a pretty good lawsuit against whoever owned the property where that tree is. But I still, from a common sense standpoint and a public safety standpoint, feel like maybe the jury, and I realize I don't want y'all to have to go out going up and down every parish road in the parish looking for every dead tree that might something happen. I understand your concern, because that's probably not the only one.
On this one here, Don, what I was looking at it,
In fact,
JB.
I got a couple on both Thanksgiving that, I mean, that's a city road, but I'm waiting for them to fall.
Mr. JB lived there, as far as I know, they said, as far as back when the lake come in, and his fence has always been behind that pine tree. And if you look at this fence, it's in line with his pine railing fence, and the utilities is even in line with that tree, so.
So you think it's probably y'all's tree?
I think it's probably ours, and I would hate to fight it in court and say it's not ours.
But I
And like I
don't,
said, you probably got, I'm gonna say 70 residents that use that road. Then when people come and fish, they use the road. School bus, you know. So if it falls through that bus, I know you're gonna have about 70.
Yeah, so so you've got an excellent photograph here, what you file and document why you did it.
Yeah.
And I just
I'm
don't take
not
it.
worried about that one, Don. I'm thinking about the next one. You know, what if
I
it's,
think you have to take them one at a.
right, but I mean,
I would-
we're gonna have to develop something that Bobby can use as a guideline, saying, and maybe what K-Wall said is the thing from bike slope to bike slope.
Well, if it's in our right of way, I think we need to take care of it.
Right, but if it's outside,
If it's outside of our right of way, maybe we need to develop a policy where we give notice
I
to the
think that's what we
landowner
need
that
to
you've
do.
got so many days to take care of this, and if you don't,
We're gonna
we're
do
gonna
it.
have to take it down and you will be responsible for it.
And then we'll have to, need to pass an ordinance to allow us to assess against the, property, the dollar amount. In other words, like whenever we clean a yard up,
Exactly.
go against the property value.
They'll lean against
Put the lien against it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I tend to want to err on the side of public safety.
I don't have,
That's my.
I think you're right. I
That's my
think,
law enforcement hat as opposed to my legal advisor to the jury hat. But I realize it could be my family or somebody, sort of like K-Wall said, school bus coming through there. My God, what a tragedy. I know those are probably long shots. I understand it, but still, if you got a tree that size, it's definitely going
Power line.
to, unless the top of it just breaks off.
right.
I think the power line's on the other side of the road.
I think they wasn't, the power lines were behind it. Robert did that.
Yeah, I think the power line's
Well,
on the other side of the road.
I'll tell you,
No, Robert,
Yeah, Caleb,
ain't cutting that.
my son contracts with Clico, and I've realized, come to realize something. If you ever go down and you see where the power companies, and it looks horrible, but they just take the side of the tree off. And the reason, Randy, is they can't legally go on your land and cut your tree. But if the limbs off your tree are into their right of way, then they can cut everything on their right of way, and it leaves an ugly looking mess. I understand, but legally they can't go over there and cut your tree down, but they can cut all the limbs off your tree on the side.
What I like, him that sets them trees out right under the power line.
And I can tell you, my son takes some cussings from people. Cause they really don't like it when you butcher up their tree.
Rolling Patrick on Patrick Road, he had a line of the prettiest cedar trees you want to see down the road.
Roland's the easiest person in the world to get along with.
And yeah, and them limbs were all out in the road. They had people, the neighbor down there had a RV and them limbs were dragged, so if y'all trim them, so they sent Tommy Watson up there. And let me tell you what, but he cut every limb all the way down to the trunk. And that was some mad folks. They called me and I said, I can't put the limbs back. I mean, they gone. And so, but that was Billy Pickett's wife was one of them. She said, oh, I remember as a little girl, we planted them trees. But they mowed them things down, but they were right on the road.
Rolling. You know, record or.
Yeah, we
You're
are.
on live.
But anyway, all right, so let's move on with this one here. Any other discussion on this tree?
Cut it.
Cut the tree.
I got a recommendation by Bruce and a second by
Cut it.
Bird. Bird?
I got
Eric?
I got it. It don't matter.
Well,
Cut it.
who you got, Bird or Eric?
Eric and Bruce.
Eric and Bruce, all right. All in favor?
Ah,
All opposed? All right, we'll make that recommendation. Anything on operations?
No, sir.
All right, I have a motion, we adjourn.
I make that motion.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask. We're not
Hold on.
looking,
Hold on,
Let's see.
after the adjournment or before the adjournment? Afterwards? Okay, we adjourn.
Who seconded it?
I got a motion by Bird, a second by Eric. All in favor?
ah.
All opposed, all right.
Turn it off.
Meeting adjourned. Now.
Just